What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phones and Drones. For those of you that follow the channel, you'll know we've been doing a lot of hands-on with these two new foldable devices from Samsung, most recently the Flip3 and the Fold3. For those of you on the fence looking to make a decision which one you should get, hoping this video will be good for you guys and it'll help you make a more educated decision. First things first, I really truly do believe this Flip3 is going to be killer for Samsung. The improvements they've made, the pocketability, and really the flexibility, no pun intended, is just going to make this much more mainstream than any of their foldables in the past. And a big portion of that is due to the price point. For the first time ever, you can get this for $1,000 brand new, right under it, $1 under it for $999. But with all of the trade-in specials and all that, you can get this substantially lower. Between that and the tweaks that they made with the IPX8 water resistance, the much better and usable cover display actually, I think this is going to be a hit. This is going to be the more popular option instead of those wanting to spend $1,800 on the Fold3. Now, having said that, I have obviously been a huge fan and used these folds for the past couple of years. This has always been in my pocket in addition to my iPhone, but for the first time, like I said, I'm actually going to be using the Fold3 as my daily driver rather than the Fold. Now, having said that, I'm going to miss this display. You just can't talk well enough about how nice and immersive it is to have this massive 7.6-inch display in your pocket at any time, ready to be used. Beyond that, what you are getting with the interior display of the actual Flip, you're getting a 6.7-inch display, which by no means is small, but take that for what it's worth. You can see the exact size differences between the displays right here. Now, again, by no means is this a small display. It's just a wider or taller aspect ratio than this more squarish one over here, but take that for what you will. You obviously do have a much more usable cover display on the front here at 6.2 inches, and as opposed to the much improved 1.9-inch one that we were just discussing on the actual Flip3. Beyond that, you're getting a 10 megapixel front camera on both of these devices, in addition to that 12 megapixel camera. You have that triple camera setup on the back here, so you are getting a little more flexibility with those. The biggest call out, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out to you guys at the beginning of this video here, is my concern on battery life. So both of these batteries are either smaller or not as large as some of the competitors out there. The new Fold3 has a smaller battery than it did last year. It has a 4400 milliamp hour battery, which is about 100 milliamps lighter. And the actual Flip is only rated at 3300 milliamps, which is exactly the same as last year. So I say that's still a concern because now you're getting those 120 Hz refresh rates and a lot brighter screen. So I understand the screen tech's better. I understand that there is a better processor, more energy efficient processor in here, but I'm still just concerned that these are not going to get you through a day of not even heavy usage, but mid to heavy usage even. So definitely a cause for concern there, something to keep in mind. So that could be a deciding factor for you guys looking to make that decision on which phone to get. Like I said, we'll be doing a review, especially our battery testing on this new Flip. Probably a little more recent than the Fold's going to be done, just because we'll be using that. Our primary SIM card will be in there, so make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that one. Another little disappointing factor is the charging rates. Nowadays, in late 2020, you have phones that charge substantially quicker than these two devices. The actual Fold here caps off at 25 watts, and the Flip is even less than that at only 15 watts. You are getting wireless charging and reverse wireless charging on both, but I just am kind of concerned on how long it's going to take to charge these devices up. Like I said, the design is going to be what's going to make or break your decision here as well for what you want and what's in your price point. Some of these options come in matte, some of these come in glossy. You can see this is a glossier finish, this is more of a matte. However, you can still see fingerprints on this matte version of that silver. On this green, I've actually talked about that in our other unboxing videos. Some of these interesting cases that Samsung's come out with is definitely going to be useful this year, just because of how much fingerprint show on these even glossy models. So you can see that it looks kind of junky already when the light hits it right, but plenty of case options if you care. You can throw on a skin. There's plenty of options out there for you, but just wanted to call that out for you as well. Beyond that, like I said, with those cameras, there's a huge difference between these. You're going to have that triple camera setup that has that 12 megapixel wide, ultra wide, and telephoto. You have that optical zoom for 2x and a 10x digital zoom, which is trash. One thing they did not do is really up their camera games here. These aren't flagship cameras. The S21 Ultra still kind of carries that crown for Samsung. They can fight in the same league as Apple and Google, but they're going to be knocked out in an earlier round, just depending on what you want to see as far as picture quality goes. Additional to that, the Z Fold 3 does have that 10 megapixel selfie camera up front that we talked about, and that new 4 megapixel under display camera that is hard to see when you're not looking for it unless you're on a darker screen. I personally am not a big fan. Let me pull up a picture for you. So if you have just any picture on it, it's hard to see until you put a darker image over it. If you have a lighter image, you can really see it as well and see all that pixelation on the top from it. But it's one of those things, it's out of sight, out of mind. It doesn't bother me too much, but it is also not that good of quality, unfortunately, either. So I don't see a lot of people using this except for some video calls by chance or something of that nature. But it is there if you do want to use it with the whole display open. Aside from that, the I don't know. I've talked about this in my other videos. I think Samsung should have passed on this. It gives it a more uniform look, but the quality is just garbage. I think they should have waited another generation or two for when under display cameras actually take that corner and look a lot better. Now, back with the Flip here. The Flip actually packs two 12 megapixel cameras too, like I said, a wide angle and an ultra wide. The ultra actually has a 123 degree field of view, and you have that 10 megapixel selfie camera up front also. Fortunately, no telephoto, but take that for what you will. One thing they did do this year, let's go ahead and actually turn this on. You can use the cover display for a camera viewer that looks a lot better, that you can kind of edit the modes by swiping, change the lenses if you'd like. It makes a difference. You can actually see it a lot better. It's actually usable. Sometimes I've heard if you actually just take the photo without launching it from here, then you're going to get a square aspect ratio. But the fix for that is if you launch the camera, open, and then close it, the photo will actually work great. The caveat to that is you do have to make sure that, let me go ahead and get this off. You do want to make sure you have that cover display active. So you have the preview on, and you will do it that way. So just something to keep in mind as well. You do have some more features on the Fold. It is S Pen capable. No built-in compartment, unfortunately. You're going to have to carry a separate case or even just a separate stylus holder. It's up to you, but no built-in storage. You do have some more other software tips and tricks built in as far as locking a dock on the side if you'd like. Just a little bit of different things here. So it's going to really depend on what you want. If you want to pin a dock, you can do that. You cannot do that on the Flip 3. Aside from that, same performance. You're getting the same Snapdragon AAA processor. You're not missing anything as far as that goes. Storage, you can actually get a little more storage on the Fold if you need 512 as opposed to 256 on the Flip being the max. But no real difference aside from that. That's really it, guys. I don't want to ramble too much on this video, but you can see there is a substantial number of differences, a substantial number of options for what to select now between these at a much more reasonable price point. What do you guys think? Which one are you going to pick up? Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned to the channel. We'll be back with a lot more, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.